Understanding your child's CogAT test results. Your child recently completed the CogAT test at school and you received a score report. But what does all that information mean? Let's delve into the test and the information it provides. CogAT is an abbreviated name for the Cognitive Abilities Test. It measures a student's reasoning and thinking abilities that are integral to school success. It is important to remember that CogAT is not an IQ test. Although its scores are reported in the same format as an IQ test, it is not a predictor of a student's IQ. CogAT assesses a student's ability to apply abstract reasoning skills to verbal, quantitative, and nonverbal tasks. This is different from an achievement test, such as MAP, which assesses a student's understanding of math concepts or ability to comprehend what they read. Instead, CogAT looks at a student's ability to compare and contrast, make inferences, use deductive reasoning, classify and categorize, understand nuance, create and adapt, and use familiar concepts and skills in new contexts. CogAT is divided into 3 batteries, and each battery is further divided into 3 subtests. The verbal battery includes verbal analogies, sentence completion, and verbal classification tasks. The quantitative battery consists of number analogies, number puzzles such as finding the value of a symbol, and number series and sequences. The nonverbal battery is completely picture-based and includes figure matrices and analogies, paper folding, and figure classification items. The questions in the quantitative and nonverbal batteries only include numbers and pictures. Since there are no words in these subtests, students with reading difficulties or who are learning English are able to show their true abilities. Now let's look at the score report you received and the guide that came with it to help you understand how CogAT information is reported and can be interpreted. CogAT is a norm reference test. That is, it compares a student's performance to that of a larger group. Your score report refers to age, grade, and local norm groups. The score report includes your child's raw score, which is the number of items a student answers correctly. The percentile rank shows the percentage of students in the norm group that scored below the student. The standard age score applies a formula to a student's raw score to make it comparable to students of different ages. For example, let's consider a 6th grade student and a 3rd grade student who both take CogAT that is appropriate for their grade levels. If they both have a standard age score of 100, that doesn't mean the 3rd grader has the same reasoning abilities as the 6th grader. The 6th grader had more difficult questions on her test. However, it does mean that compared to their same aged peers, they are both average. If the 3rd grade student had a higher standard age score than the 6th grade student, the 3rd grader doesn't necessarily have stronger skills than the 6th grader, but performed better compared to her peers than the 6th grader did. Another score on the CogAT report is the STAY-9, or Standard 9. It also looks at how a student scored in comparison to the norm group. It is based on the normal curve, with about half of the students considered average, and the remaining half either below or above average. Now let's zoom into your report to find all this information. We will start with the raw scores that show the number of items in each battery, the number of questions your child answered, and the number that were answered correctly. These raw scores were compared to 3 different norm groups. First is the age group. This compares the student to other children across the country who were born in the same year and month. It is reported with the standard age score, the STAY-9, and percentile rank. The student is also compared to other students across the country who are in the same grade. Finally, the local scores compare a student to other students in the same grade level in District 28. There is other helpful information on the report. The More Information section summarizes the norm information we just discussed. The last sections address the child's ability profile. This is where we go from scores and norms to how we can use the information gained from the test to maximize student learning. An ability profile is created for each student, which can be found in the lower left-hand corner of the report. The profile of test scores summarizes ways to help the student learn. A more detailed explanation can be found on the CogAT website by following the directions in the bottom corner. The information gained from the CogAT test can be very helpful. It allows us to better meet students' instructional needs by pinpointing some strengths, areas for focus, and instructional strategies to maximize student learning. If you have any questions about your child's CogAT results, please do not hesitate to contact your child's teacher or the school principal or gifted and talented services coordinator.